Friends, now we are going to discuss about the ancient history. First chapter is history and its source. What is history? History is the study of the past, specifically the people, societies, events, and problem of past as well as our attempt to understand them. It is a pure set common to all human societies. History is also known as the study of the past, specifically the people, and with the societies, events, and problem of past, as well as our attempts to understand them. It is a pure sight common to all the human societies. And next, there are types of history. What are the types of history? Prehistory, proto-history, historical history. Again, there are how many types of history? Prehistory, proto-history, historical period. Types of history. Prehistory. Prehistory means is a period before the written history. It is that the period of human history from which no documents or written clues to lives of our ancient survive. What is prehistory? Prehistory is a period before the written history. It is that of period of human history from which no documents or written clues to the lives of our ancestors survive. Second is what is proto-history? Proto-history means period before the prehistory and history during which a culture or civilization has not yet developed rating. But other culture have already noted its existence in their own writings. Once again, proto-history means it is a period before the prehistory and history during which a culture or civilization is not yet developed writing, but other culture have already noted in existence in their own writings. Next, now what is historical period? It is a period of after the prehistory and proto-history where culture and civilization has developed writing, which is easily deciphered, or in other words, whose writing evidence are easily available and readable. Once again, what is historical period? It is a period after the prehistory and proto-history where culture and civilization has developed writing, which is easily deciphered, or in other words, whose writing evidence are easily available and readable. What are the source of Indian history? The source of Indian history are there are two types: endogenous source, foreign source. Under endogenous source, literature and archaeological. In foreign source, classical source, Chinese source, and Muslim source. In literature, there are again classified into four, such as Brahmini literature, Buddhist literature, Jain literature, and other scientific works. In archaeological in archaeological source such as coins, monuments, and inscriptions. Once again, the source of Indian history are two types: indigenous source and foreign source. Indigenous source, literature and archaeological, and in foreign source, classical source, Chinese source, and Muslim source. Indigenous source in the literature, Brahmin literature, Buddhist literature, Jain literature, and scientific works. But in archaeological, coins, monuments, and inscriptions. What are indigenous source? The indigenous source include the following are there are two classes: literature and archaeological. In literature source, there are further divided into four groups such as Brahminical, Buddhist, Jain text, and scientific work. Once again, indigenous source means the indigenous source include the following two classes such as literature and archaeological. In literary source, the literature source such as Brahminical, Buddhist, Jain, and scientific works. In Brahminical literature, there are again Vedas such as Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda, and Brahmanas and Upanishads, Vedangas. In under Sutras, Kalpa, Gharya, Dharma, Sutras. Once again, the Brahminical literature, there are Vedas. Which are Vedas? Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda. And the second point is Brahmanas and Upanishads. Third one is Vedangas. Fourth one is sutras. In sutras, kalpa, gairya, dharma, sutras. Dharma sutras. Under epics, there are Ramayana and Mahabharata. Purana, under Purana, Srimad Bhagavat Mahapurana. Under biography, Harishchatra by Banavata. Books by King is Ratnavalli and Nagananda. Books on law and grammar is Arthashastra and Ashtadhyayi. Classical Sanskrit such as Raghuvamsha, Malvika, Nimantra and Mudra Rakshasa. Once again, under Brahmin literature, Vedas are Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda, and Brahmanas and Upanishads. Vedanga, Sutras are Kalpa, Girya, Dharma Sutras. Under epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Under Puranas, Srimad Bhagavat Mahapurana. Under biography, Harishcharitra by Banavata. Books of King by the Ratnavalli and Nagananda. And the books on law and grammar is Arthashastra and Ashtadhyayi. And classical Sanskrit is Raghuvamsha, Malvikani Mitram and Mudrakshasa. Under epics, there are once again, under epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, Purana, Srimad Bhagavat Mahapurana. Under biography, Harishcharitra by the Banabhata. Books by King is Ratnavalli and Nagananda. Books on law and grammar is Arthashastra and Ashtadhyayi. Classical Sanskrit, Raghuvamsha and Malvikangani Mitram and Mudrakshasa. Under Buddhist literature, Pitaka. Pitaka is also known as the Vinay Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, Abhidham Pitaka, which describes the principles of Buddhism in Pali. Once again, Pitaka, there are several Pitakas such as Vinay Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka and Abhidham Pitaka, which describes the principles of Buddhism in Pali. Second one is Nikaya. Nikaya means Anguttara Nikaya, gives the description of the political, social, religious condition of 16th century of the BC. Nikaya is Anguttara Nikaya, gives the descriptions of the political, social and religious condition of the 6th century of BC. Second is Jatakas. Jatakas is an authentic descriptions of social condition in Buddha period and Buddha's birth stories. Jatakas is an authentic description of social condition in the Buddha's period and Buddha's birth stories. Others is Milnad Panho, Dipvamasa and Mahavamsa and Abhidharmakosha. Others are Milnad Panho, Dipavamasa, Mahavamasa and Abhidharmakosha. Once again, Buddhist literature has Pitaka such as Vinay Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka and Abhidhaman Pitaka, which describes the principles of Buddhism in Pali. Nikaya is Anguttara Nikaya, gives the description of the political, social, religious condition of the 6th century BC. Next is Jatakas. Jatakas is authentic description of the social condition in Buddha's period and Buddha's birth stories. Other is Milnad Panho, Dipavamsa, Mahavamsa and Abhidharmakosha. Second, another is Jain literature. Jain literature consists of the Angas and Upangas, which give a great value for the reconstruction of ancient history of India. The most important from the historical point of view is Parishit Parvana of Hemachandra. In the Jain literature mainly consists of the Angas and Upangas, which have a great value for the reconstructions of the ancient history of India. The most important from the historical point of view is Parishita Parvana of Hemachandra. Once again, the most important from the historical point of view is Parishita Parvana of Hemachandra. and scientific work such as in scientific field Surya Siddhanta and Romaka Siddhanta are authentic books on the astronomy. In under scientific source, in scientific field Surya Siddhanta and Romak Romaka Siddhanta are authentic books of the astronomy, and Charka Samhita and Surya Samhita are the books of the medical science. The Charka Samhita and Surya Samhita are the books on the medical science. Next, archaeological source. Archaeological has contributed a lot of history of ancient India. Archaeological source can be divided into three heads. Archaeological source has contributed a lot to the history of ancient India. Archaeological source can be divided into three heads, such as inscriptions, coins, and monuments. Inscriptions. Under inscriptions, inscriptions are engraved upon the stone pillars, seals, rocks, copper plates, temple walls, wooden tablets, and brick or images. Under inscription are engraved upon the stone pillars, seals, rocks, copper plate, temple walls, wooden tablets, and bricks or images. The largest number of inscriptions are preserved in the office of Chief Epigraphist at Mysore. The largest number of inscriptions are preserved in the office of Chief Epigraphist at Mysore. The scripts used in inscriptions such as Prakriti, Brahmin, and Kharoshti, Greek and Aramaic. The Prakritic, Brahmi, Kharoshti, Greek and Aramaic. Descriptions used in inscriptions such as Prakriti, Brahmi, and Kharoshti, Greek and Aramaic. Important inscriptions such as Jungraha inscriptions, Aholi inscriptions, and Prayag Prasasti and Merali iron pillar inscriptions. Other important inscriptions such as Janagraha inscriptions, Aholi inscriptions, and Prayag Prasasti and Merali iron pillar inscriptions. Other inscriptions such as last one time revision, Janagri inscriptions, Aihole inscriptions, and Prayag Prasasti, Meroli iron pillar inscription. Next, under coins, coins also portray kings and god and contain the religious symbol and legends of all which throw the light and on the art and religious of the time. Coins are the portray kings and gods and contain the religious symbol and legends, all of which throw light on the art and religious of the time. Cushions, gold coins, Samudragupta playing Veena on coin. Next, Satavahanas is leading coins. Satavahans is leading coins. Coins also are the portray kings and gods and contain the religious symbol and legends, all of which throw a light on the art and religious of the time. Cushions are the gold coins, Samudragupta playing Veena on coin, and Satavahans leads to the leading coin. And next, under monuments, monuments such as temples such as suptas and monasteries, virahas depict and other artistic achievements and religious devotion of people and their rulers. What are monuments? The monuments such as temples, suptas, and monasteries, virahas depict the artistic achievements and religious devotion of people and the rulers. The Diogad temple such as Jhansi and Bittergaon, Kanpur, Angkor Wat, Cambodia, Borobudur is Java, Indonesia. And the monuments such as temples, suptas, and monasteries, virahas such as depict the artistic achievements and religious devotion of people and the rulers. The Digoi temples, Jhansi and Bittergona Kanpur, Angkor Wat, Cambodia, and Borobudur is Java, Indonesia. And other one is foreign source. Under foreign source, Greek and Roman, such as Herodotus, such as Historius, Mega, Megasthens like Indica, and Ptolemy is a book of geography. The Chinese source such as Fanhin, Fu, Kauhin, Tisang, you can see the spelling, it is difficult to pronounce. These are the Chinese source. First one is Greek source such as the Histories, Indica, and book on geography such as Herodotus is the Historius, Megasthens is the Indica, and Ptolemy is the book of geography. You know the Chinese source such as Fahin and Tisang Singh. Muslim source such as Suleiman such as Silasut ul Tawarik, next Al Masudi, Murj ul Zahad, and Al Berani, Kitabul Hind. The Muslim source such as Suleiman, such as Silsilat ul Tawarik, Al Masudi is a Muruj ul Zahad, Al Berani is Kitabul Hind. These are the Muslim source. Once again, the small revision for the first chapter. First one, what is history? We know that history is the study of the past, specifically the people, societies, events, and problems of the past, as well as our attempts to understand them. It is a pure sight common to all the human societies. The types of history. There are three types of history we know: prehistory, proto-history, historical period. What do you mean by prehistory? Prehistory is a period before the written history. It is that the period of human history where the which no documents or written clues to the lives of their ancestors survive. What is proto-history? It is a period between the prehistory and history during which a culture or civilization is not yet developed writings, but other culture have already noted in existence in their own writings. In historic period, the period after the prehistory and proto-history, where the culture and civilization has developed and writing which is usually deciphered, or in other words, whose written evidence are easily available and readable. The source of Indian history such as source of Indian history, endogenous history and source and foreign source. Under endogenous source, literature and archaeological. Under literature, the Brahmin literature, Buddhist, Jain, scientific work. Under archaeological, coins, monuments and inscriptions. With a foreign source, classical source, Chinese source and Muslim source. First one is in the indigenous source. There are two types: literary source and archaeological. Under archaeological, there are Brahminical, Buddhist, Jain, and scientific. In the Brahminical literature, Vedas such as Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda, and Brahmanas and Upanishads, and Vedanga sutras like Kalpa, Gaira, and Dharma sutras. These are the sutras. And other epics such as Ramayana and Mahabharata, and Puranas, Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana, biographies such as Harsha Charitra by the Banabhata, books of King by the Nagananda and Ratnavalli, books of law and grammar is Arthashastra and Ashtadhyaya, and classical Sanskrit such as Raghuvamsha, Malvikagni Mitram, and Mudra Rakshasa. These are the classical Sanskrit. Under Buddhist literature, Pitaka such as Vinay Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, Abhidham Pitaka, which describes the principles of Buddhism in Pali, and Nikaya. Nikaya is Anguttara Nikaya, gives the description of political, social, religious condition of the 6th century of BC. Other one is Jatakas, an authentic description of social condition in Buddha period and Buddha's birth stories. Others such as Milnad Panho, Deepavamsha, Mahavamsha, and Abhidharma Kosha. These are the other Buddhist literature. Jain literature such as Jain literature consists of Angas and Upangas, which have the great value for the reconstruction of ancient history of India. The most important from the ancient point of view, that is Parishishta Paravana of Hemachandra. Once again, the most important historical point of view, such as in the Jain literature, is Parasishta Paravana of Hemachandra. Scientific works such as Surya Siddhanta and Romaka Siddhanta are authentic books on the astronomy. And Charaka Samiti and Surya Samiti are the books of the medical sciences in the scientific work. And authentic books of astronomy are the Surya Siddhanta and Romaka Siddhanta. And Charaka Samiti and Surya Samhita is the books of the medical science and the social works. Under archaeological source, they contributed to history of ancient India. There are three heads such as inscriptions, coins, and monuments. Under inscriptions, they written upon the stone pillars, seals, rocks, copper plate, temple walls, wooden tablets, and bricks or images. The largest number of inscriptions was preserved in the office of the chief epigraphist at Mysore, and scripts used in the inscriptions such as Prakrit, Prakrit, Brahmi, and Kharoshti and Greek Aramic. Importance inscriptions such as Junanghar inscription, Aivoli inscription, Prayag Prasasti, and Meroholi iron pillar inscriptions. These are the important inscriptions. Coins such as also portrayed kings and gods contain the religious symbols and legends, all of which throw a light on art of religious of the time. And such as cushions, they have the gold coins, Samudragupta playing Vino and the coins, and Satavahans leading the coins. Monuments, under monuments, temples, suptas, and monasteries, virahas depict and artistic achievements and religious devotion of the people and the rulers. Under that is Degod temples such as Jhansi and Bitargano Kanpur, Angkor Wat Cambodia, and Borobudur Java, Indonesia. Once again, Digod Temple, Jhansi, Betargano Kanpur, Angkor Wat Cambodia, and Borobudur Java, Indonesia. And Greek, such as foreign source, Greek and Roman such as Herodotus the Historians, Mega Satyans such as Indica, Potolima, and books of geography. These are the foreign source. Chinese such as Fan Hin, Fukoki, Huni, T Sang, Singh. Muslim source such as Suleiman Silsista al Tawarika, Al Masudi is Muraji ul Zahad, and Al Berun is Kitabul Hindi. Such as Suleiman is Silsisti al Tawarika, Al Asmal ul Masudi, Muraji ul Zahad, Al Baruni, Kitab ul Hindi. These are the foreign sources. Thank you.